They are trained to drop into hell and win. No backup, no retreat, just grit, guts, and a parachute. This is the British Army's elite parachute regiment, better known as the Red Devils. From brutal selection tests to missions so secret they were denied for decades, these soldiers don't just fight, they redefine modern warfare. But there's a side to them you've never seen. Why are they feared by enemies and respected by allies? Stick around, because what you're about to learn will blow you away. Welcome back to the war. The year was 1940. Britain was getting hammered in North Africa and Europe, and a new type of soldier was needed. One who could drop behind enemy lines, sow chaos, and disappear before the enemy knew what hit them. Enter the Parachute Regiment, formed during World War II. These men weren't just soldiers, they were volunteers. That's right, no one is forced into the paras. You sign up knowing you're about to suffer, and suffer they did. One of their first missions, Operation Biting, February 1942, a lightning raid on a German radar station in France. A few dozen paras jumped into enemy territory, sold the Nazi radar tech, and escaped. That single raid changed the course of radar warfare. But here's the crazy part. Half of them had never seen combat before. They weren't even considered real soldiers by the regular army, yet they pulled it off like pros. If you think that's insane, just wait until you hear what they did in the Falklands, where they charged uphill into machine guns. And have you ever done something everyone said impossible and pulled it off anyway? Tell us in the comments. We read everyone. Becoming a para isn't just hard, it's borderline insane. They call it P Company, short for Pegasus Company. The training culminates in a series of 8 tests over a 5-day period. Recruits are tested with a 10-mile march with 35 pounds of kit, the Trinasium, an assault course set 60 feet in the air, the steeplechase, a 2.2-mile cross-country run wearing a helmet and boots, a 2-mile march carrying 35 pounds of kit, a 20-mile endurance march, a stretcher race where candidates have to carry an 80-kilogram stretcher over 5 miles in a team, a log race carrying 60 kilograms with your team, and the milling test. Think boxing match, no defense, just pure aggression. 1 in 3 fail. Some break bones, some just break mentally. But the few who pass, they earn the iconic maroon beret, a symbol of elite infantry across the globe. But wearing the beret doesn't mean you're safe. In the Falklands, being a para meant you were first to be dropped in and the last to be pulled out. Would you survive P Company? Be honest. Drop a yes or no in the comments. And if you have survived, let us know. (1982) The Falklands War. Paras were among the first British boots on the ground. Their mission? Take back the islands from the Argentinian forces. Sounds simple, right? Except the Argentinians had artillery, trenches, and high ground. The Paras had their boots, their rifles, and 90-pound rucksacks. The most legendary moment came at the Battle of Goose Green. Led by Lieutenant Colonel H. Jones, the 2nd Battalion attacked entrenched Argentinian positions. Outgunned and outnumbered, Jones personally led a charge into enemy fire and was killed. But the Paras didn't stop. They overcame the Argentinians and took the position. Over 1,000 enemy troops surrendered. But what no one expected was how far the Paras would have to go next. The battles weren't just about bullets and bayonets. They became a brutal test of endurance. And the mountain they had to take, it wasn't just strategic, it was a death trap. After Goose Green, the Paras pushed deeper into the Falklands, facing terrain and conditions that would have broken most units. We're talking freezing winds, horizontal rain, 70-pound packs, and no vehicles, just miles of boggy hills and the enemy waiting on top. And yet, they didn't stop. Their next major test? Mount Longdon, a brutal night assault through minefields, across exposed ground, straight into entrenched Argentine positions. It was hand to hand, bayonets, grenades, room by room clearing under pitch black skies. By morning, the Paras had taken the mountain, but at a heavy cost. 23 dead, dozens wounded. One soldier later said it was like World War One with night vision. Here's the part most people don't know. The Argentinians on Mount Longdon had night sights, trip flares, and excellent fields of fire, but the Paras still came at them and won. That wasn't just skill, that was willpower. It was leadership. It was the training from P Company, forged into battlefield instinct. And it's exactly that mindset that makes the modern Paras more dangerous than ever, because they've taken that same spirit into 21st century combat. Today, the Paras are a core part of the British Army's 16th Air Assault Brigade. They've deployed in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and across Africa. But unlike the past, modern Paras are smarter, faster, and more surgical. They train for urban combat, counterinsurgency, and airborne raids that can neutralise high-value targets in minutes. Here's something wild. In 2021, a British para used a drone mid-firefight in Mali to mark enemy positions while calling in an airstrike, all from an iPad-sized terminal. And remember Operation Biting in World War II? From radar raids to drone warfare, it's come full circle. But don't think they've gone soft. The milling test, still there. P Company, still brutal. The maroon berets, still earned in blood. What do you think is more important in modern war? Raw physical toughness or tech-savvy tactics? Let us know below. Of course, the regiment isn't without controversy. In recent years, there have been headlines, allegations of misconduct during training exercises, videos leaked online, and even political debates about whether airborne troops still matter in the age of drones. Then there's also the troubles, but we'll cover that in another day. But here's the reality. When chaos erupts, when you need troops on the ground, now, you don't call the politicians, you call the paras. And that's the paradox of the Red Devils. Fierce, controversial, effective. And there's one mission they're preparing for right now that no one's talking about. With rising tensions in Eastern Europe, NATO has reactivated Cold War-style plans. Paras are now training for high-intensity warfare due to rising tensions in Europe. So to answer the question earlier, why are they feared and respected? Because no matter the tech, the politics, or the terrain, when war breaks out, The paras are first in and the last out. So the next time you see a soldier with a maroon beret, know this: you're looking at someone who's passed the test that most can't. Someone who's trained to fight anywhere, anytime, and win. The British Parachute Regiment doesn't just jump into war, they own it. And if you want more, check out our recent video on the Rifles, the regiment with the most battle honours. Hi soldiers, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to check back in again soon. That's an order.